Good afternoon, everybody. This is the lecture summary for CRIM 106. This is basically, I was supposed to do, on this date, I was going to do a workshop for the literature review. Again, keep in mind, stay in this class. Yes, there are many sections. There's 5 major sections for the one assignment that's due at the end. That's due in the middle of May. And by today, by April 20th, I wanted you guys to hand me your methodology sections. I haven't really been seeing any in my inbox, which kind of concerns me a little bit, but I wanted just that draft of your methodology sections. Remember, for your methodology, that was supposed to be written in the future tense, right? And just explaining how you're going to do your research. And doing a little bit of operationalization. In other words, coming up with very thick, simple definitions for how you're going to measure your research. For literature review, the purpose of a literature review, it usually is a second step in any good research. I'm having you do it as the last section of your research, and this is due in 2 weeks, okay? For this week, please go on Blackboard, go under Assignments, and you will see the directions for the literature review, a PowerPoint slide explaining the literature review, okay? The purpose of a literature review, overall, is to look at who else has tried to answer your research question. And so when you're putting together a literature review, for this section, I have it towards the end of the semester because it's probably the largest section that you're going to be writing, okay? This is where you do research. This is where you're going to be doing actual citation. I expect some citation throughout this. That's included in the workshop. And I want you to look at least 3 different sources. 3 books, 3 articles. Not just Wikipedia, okay? But 3 different sources that speak to your research question. It doesn't exactly have to be about your exact research question. So this is why I had mentioned, for example, if your research question was about public safety at Queensborough Community College, right? Are you going to find any books on public safety at Queensborough Community College? No. I guarantee you wouldn't find that. But you could do your literature review on campus safety. You could do your literature review on policing, generally speaking, police practices. Think about why somebody would need security on a college campus, crimes on college campuses, drug use on college campuses. You can find literature that's related to your question. So please, if you cannot find literature that is directly dealing with your question, you could find stuff that's related to your question. Make sure that it's related and speaks to and informs you. And all I want you to do in this literature review, introduce the topic, do a little bit of conceptualization. Hopefully by now I've identified some of those concepts in your field notes. The same concepts that you're going to be defining in your methodology section, the same words that I circled and told you to define in your methodology section, I'm asking you to speak about and find literature on those concepts right now. And so at least 3 sources. I want a paragraph providing a summary of each reading, right? A 1-paragraph summary for each reading, and then another few paragraphs at the end of your literature review explaining what you have learned, how these contribute to your knowledge of your research, and what is the most useful to you. You could read something and say, like, this kind of goes against what I'm writing about, and this one made me a little bit more informed about what I'm writing about. That's okay. So the literature review is, I was saying, like, the methodology speaks in the future tense, and the field notes kind of speaks in the present or the past. And, literature reviews doesn't necessarily have like a tense to it, but the whole point is for you to review at least 3 different things that have something to do. It doesn't have to answer your question directly, but it has something to do with your literature, generally speaking. At least 3 sources, and most importantly, at the end of that literature review section, how have these readings contributed to your research? What did you learn? What did you learn by reading this stuff? That's all I want, okay? Hand me something on the due date, and I'll get you feedback. You guys give me your methodology sections today. I'll give you feedback on that soon. For those of you handing your field notes late, hey, better late than never. Let's just get through this semester, please. Okay?